All right, welcome to another episode of the Austin Pod. I am Anthony, the ATX drinker, and this is Rachel from 512 Bites and Rachel Lately. We have a really fun episode today. We're going to be recapping the craziest weekend in the whole year in Austin, Texas.
It was truly the biggest year. I mean, the biggest weekend
I
in
mean,
Austin.
what did we have? We had UT football playing Georgia.
Yes, and it was F1 weekend, which already brings in thousands upon thousands of people.
Yep.
So just all together, I was just so grateful that I did not have to go through the Austin airport around that time because I saw photos. It looked like mayhem.
My buddy flew in and he had to fly out Sunday, and they said that it was record attendance. And when we tried to pull in, it was all these Ubers were like lined up down the road. Luckily, the drop off wasn't that bad for people just dropping somebody off.
Oh, okay.
But all the people using an Uber to get dropped off were like, or no, they were getting picked up. I don't even know. But there was a huge line that said like ride share, and it went completely down the road.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did he make his flight?
He did.
How early did he have to show up?
His was, I think, a 1 o'clock flight, and I dropped him off at like 11:15.
Oh,
So
okay.
it wasn't too bad.
Damn. Yeah. Our airport is expanding. I don't know if people know this, but like they just settled on like a multi-million-dollar expansion deal and it's going to be huge. I guess people finally woke up and were like, people are really wanting to come to Austin
Yeah.
because now, yeah, it's expanding and it's going to be sick, but I think it's going to be a chaos of construction for a few years. So we'll see how that goes.
And if you take away how busy it is, I personally love the Austin airport compared to a lot of airports. I feel like they have unique food, cool bar spots. It's like bright. They even have music at that one place. What's the bar that's on South Lamar? I always forget its name.
Lavaca.
No, the one, it's like across the street from Gibson, a little further down.
I'm blanking.
I'm supposed to be the pro. This is up for me, and I just forget. But yeah, they have live music all the time.
The Saxon Pub.
Yes, Saxon Pub.
There you go.
So I did a video. I was like, this is my favorite bar in the Austin airport because they even have Frozens, and then they'll play, they said live music almost every day from 3 to 5.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because
Wow.
I always fly like when it's around that time.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a great airport besides the fact that it's very small. Flights are limited. A lot of times you have to do layovers when you go other places.
I truly do love the Austin airport, but sometimes I wish I could just get like some like generic fast food and we don't have that.
Yeah, yes, all these
option.
specialty options.
Yes, and I'm like, this is great, but
100% agree.
like just give me a chicken sandwich that I can order from a kiosk and be on my merry way. But I do love it. So we have some news that I wanted to go over in Austin. Baby A's on Barton Springs Road just announced they're closing this past week.
No way. I didn't even see that.
You didn't see that?
No.
That's crazy. It's a big deal.
That makes me sad.
They've been there a long time, as long as I've lived here, definitely. But they are still keeping their 2 other locations.
Okay.
There's one a little north Austin, and there's one on Riverside. But the Barton Springs one was iconic.
That's the one.
That's the one, especially if you have friends in town or family, whatever, you're trying to like show them this is where you get messed up.
I wonder what it is
marks.
because there's a lot of places that have closed on Barton Springs.
I think the rent is getting higher, and these local businesses, even though they're staple names, they just can't make the rent.
Yeah.
This is my fear is that it's just going to become like a string of chains eventually. Like right now, there are some local places like Zoe Tong is there. No, they closed.
They closed, yeah.
Lose.
Yep.
Which I think
Lose.
is an MML business.
I think so too.
So they might stand a fighting chance.
I love the Lose in East Austin. I go there all the time.
People had a lot of differing opinions about that one.
Really?
Yeah. Just all the gentrification of it all.
Oh, gotcha.
But I don't know, like even the McDonald's on Lamar and Barton Springs Road went away, and people are saying that's going to become a condo building or a hotel. I don't know. It's not looking good.
That's crazy. I know one place that recently opened there was Wanderlust Wine Company, and they have a really cool cave speakeasy underneath.
Yeah, that's
where they'll
pretty
do
dope.
like wine tastings and pairings. Highly recommend that. But they're newer, so I'm hoping that they can do a lot and stay there for a long time.
Honestly, once Shady Grove closed, and now you didn't even know it was there because it's just overgrown with shrubbery, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, no one bought this property. I don't know. I just have a bad feeling.
And I don't know if I brought it up, but I did go to Chewy's before I went to ACL, got myself a frozen mango margarita, and I was able to like drink it while I was walking in and then waited in line to get into the festival. They let me get it to go drink with it, which I thought was really cool.
Has that always been the case?
I don't think so. And when I walked out, I felt like I was doing something illegal.
I know, isn't it illegal?
I mean, it's funny because you know what I want to post? I think this would be a cool reel. But South Austin, I'm trying to think. It's actually not far from here. I think I passed it on the way home. There's a frozen daiquiri drive-through. Have you seen this?
I thought that was on the east side. There's one in South
I
Austin?
think there was one and it closed. But there's one like right where the highway is that goes west and east.
Okay.
And I'm like, so I want to understand it. So if it's a drive-through with a daiquiri, like they have to probably put a little thing on it, like tape. But then are you allowed to like just open it and drink with it? Like, or do they expect you to go home?
They expect you to go home because that's drinking and driving.
But I want a fresh drink. I don't want it to like melt and then be at home. I don't understand. How do you say? And that's all they do. That's all they sell.
That's definitely illegal. But during 2020, when takeout was the only thing we had, I do remember Doc's in South Austin was doing their dollar margarita special, and I would go get them, and they taped them.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure it's like, even if they had a drive-through and I got them like that, they would have been taped down.
That's what I figured.
So they're implying don't drink and drive. That's crazy.
Which, like, I got it when they would do the drinks like that to go in East Austin or downtown because you can get it and then walk around the streets. And, like, as long as you're not bothering anybody, you're just walking. But in a drive-through?
I mean, this isn't Vegas.
Yeah.
So you definitely can't, like, walk around with a drink, but people do it.
Oh, I do it.
I remember the first time I did that, walking to ACL Fest with a drink in my hand. And I, like...
Yeah, you feel like you're...
No, I literally saw like cops ahead and I was like, I gotta dump this. Like, I thought I was gonna get arrested.
And then you see the cop just like cheers you. Like...
I know. And then I look around and I'm like, oh, everyone's doing it.
Yeah,
But
they're like worried about other stuff.
I don't know. They would probably lock me up. So yeah, RIP to that baby A's. I don't know what it's gonna become or if it's just gonna go the way of Shady Grove and just become nothing, which... I don't know what's worse, like nothing or a chain.
I know.
Like what?
Like, what would they put there? I can't even think of anything that would be interesting.
I don't know. I hope it gets bought.
Yeah, it has to.
Also, I just got a text literally like 10 minutes before we started recording this episode that Revival Coffee on East 7th is closing.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
So when I first moved here, that was like my go-to spot for like thrift shopping. They would do a pop-up every weekend.
I know.
And they would have a DJ. It
Yes.
was so fun.
Gabriella, she's the owner. She owns Gabriella's, Taquero Mucho, Sirenas, gosh, so many. Malavida, also, obviously. That's their big money income or whatever. Anyway, she bought Revival Coffee from the original owners because it was her favorite coffee spot. And she didn't want to see it close down. So she bought it, pinkified it, and really brought like a lot of, like every tourist I've ever seen that comes to Austin, they make it a point to go visit that pink coffee shop. So that's such a bummer. I know she really put a lot of love into that space. She really cares about her businesses. Little known fact, I used to work for her. Sometimes I forget, but I worked for her like from 2019 to 2022, and I just have seen like all the back end stuff, and those people work so hard like to give their audience and customers like what they want, and they try to like bring new stuff every year, every season even, trying to keep up with the times. Like, they're just an incredible team, and I'm really sad to see this. I hope this doesn't mean bad news for Gabriella's or her other businesses. Yeah. So, yeah, I just wish them luck.
Especially if you're out of town and you're visiting here. I think Gabriella's is a really fun place to visit for some crazy drinks.
They have a great happy hour.
Yeah.
Like, it's 3 to 6 p.m., weekdays only, but like, there's I think $5 margs or $6 margs, one of those, and they're actually like good.
Legit.
Yes, I would go like when I worked there like all the time just because they were so good. Oh, and you get like their famous queso flamado with like, the big cheese spread.
Yep.
It's actually really good.
And I remember seeing on Instagram they used to have like the pineapple filled with like a drink,
Yeah.
which is super cool.
They always have new and updated drinks that are just make you be like, what? What am I drinking right now?
Yeah.
I think they were one of the first to do that pineapple
I believe
margarita.
that. I don't see that stuff as much anymore.
Yeah, definitely not.
But I think it's so cool because you're getting people to like reshare it on social media.
Yeah.
And then it helps blow your place up.
They definitely still do it. Also, they have a great michelada, which I know some people care about that.
I like that.
Yeah, so that happened. Also, I saw in the news, this was kind of random, but that Austin was ranked number 18 on low rental cost list.
Wow.
Yeah.
It actually makes sense to me just because the population isn't as crazy as you would think it would be. Like when you look at places like New York City, it's so many people, the demand is so high, and then the prices are insane. From me, like I've looked at other places, even like Philadelphia back in the day, prices were higher than here.
Really?
Oh yeah. So find an apartment that's under $2,000 for a single bedroom near downtown, it's crazy.
That's true. Yeah, apparently this is from Business Insider. They released its list of 24 cities where rent is 10% less than the national average.
Okay.
So that's where this is coming from and why we're number 18. And for those curious, San Antonio ranked number 6 on this list.
Not surprised.
I know. Houston ranked number 12 and Dallas number 14.
I was always shocked at Dallas. They had really good prices for apartments. And what I liked about Dallas was they were very new apartments. Just felt cleaner. The gyms were like really impressive because I always stayed in Airbnb, so sometimes they would be like at the apartments. But I think it was because they were having such an influx of people moving there. And then all these developers built like hundreds of new apartment buildings, and half of them were like empty, so they're trying to fill them up so the prices were lower.
Yeah.
Whereas in Austin, I think the prices were higher than Dallas because there was just such a demand to find an apartment. And I remember it was like a year or two ago, I was talking to a couple people. They said that they're still waiting for like new apartments to build. They had to stay in an Airbnb because like there was nothing available. There was nowhere to stay.
In Austin?
Yeah.
What?
And now it's catching up because there is a lot of new apartment buildings coming up. But there was a time where it was like there was more people here than available apartments,
Wow.
which you would think would shoot the price up. But I think that's when we had that spike like a year or two ago and prices were crazy. But this last year it's been a big drop.
I remember I was in between apartments for some reason, I think in 2021, and I was definitely looking into maybe I'll just get an Airbnb for a month.
It's crazy.
It was so expensive. Like, I think like around $4K. And
yeah, like 3 times the price of a regular apartment.
Yeah, I was like, oh, never mind.
It's terrible.
Yeah, I haven't looked in a while what
Me neither.
prices are, but we should do that just out of curiosity. Ooh, well, a lot of this other news I want to talk about has to do with the weekend.
Okay.
So maybe we should just jump into it.
Yeah, let's jump into it. I mean, you were doing F1. I didn't get to really experience F1 that much, but you got to do some stuff with them, right?
Did you go at all?
No.
Oh,
I just
okay.
did events around the city, which that's why I always say to some people, they're like, F1's here. They're like, oh, you're going to see the races. I'm like,
No.
no. It feels like South by because there's like new concerts that pop up. There's like other random food and bar events that are happening. But obviously the races are a big factor too.
That's true. The Austin bar scene, especially like they want all these newcomers and tourists to come to their bar. So they put on like parties and specials and they go all out. But yes, I did go to F1. Sunday I went to actually see the race and it was so packed.
Really?
And the people I was with, they went all weekend and they said Sunday was the most packed day. So I think maybe the biggest race happened that day. Obviously, I'm not like very knowledgeable on F1 racing. I did watch the TV show on Netflix, which is actually really good.
I want to watch that.
It got me interested in the drivers. But yeah, we were at one of the turns, turn 19, I think, and it was really cool when the cars drove by, and I even saw like Hamilton, the like famous one.
Yeah.
He wiped out, not badly,
I
but
did a partnership with him today, or not today, but last week, and it was with the Almave non-alcoholic tequila, and yeah, he's the owner of it or co-founder.
oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, he's a legend. I saw him wipe out, which was wild. And it was really cool again when the cars go past you. But then, like, the rest of the time, you're looking at a screen, and a lot of these people are sitting in the sun, and it was so hot. It was like, I want to say, like, close to 90 degrees that day. And there's no shade at Coda. I don't know if you knew this, but everyone's just like baking and trying to hide in the little tiny bits of shade from shadows. And yeah, I was just like, wow.
And some people are in the middle of the tracks, right? Like on the field or whatever you call it. Because I've heard about other races. That's the thing. They say like a lot of the partiers will have RVs and then they're going around, but I don't know how the setup is. I was just wondering.
I guess I didn't see the entire racetrack.
Okay.
I'm sure some people were lucky enough to be in the middle or go up to the big red sculpture thing and watch from above. I bet that was pretty cool. But most people get GA, which is in the grassy area, and there's bleachers. Again, you're in the sun. It was like, I was like, damn, this is hot. But it was cool to see. That was my very first experience actually watching the big race. I've said this before, but the only time I had been to F1 was when I went to see Taylor Swift in 2016 and got stranded at night trying to find my way back home, which I posted about that on my Instagram story. And a lot of people had that same experience, that like they did not have a secured ride home. So they got stranded at Coda.
That's insane.
And some of them said they hitchhiked.
Oh my God.
And some said they just walked like as far as they could, like trying to like wave down random cars to like, please help us. Like I was like,
I think I was talking to the person who owns this podcast studio, and he was saying the same thing. Like last time he went there, he was like, I was stuck for 4 hours.
dude. So getting there took an hour in traffic, and I left early because like I didn't stay for the shows because I was like, I will not be stuck here again.
Yeah.
Like that really, I have post-traumatic stress disorder from 2016, and I was like, I gotta get out of here. So thankfully a shuttle was available and took us to the Waterloo Park, and that's where I dropped you off. It was really convenient. But yeah, that was my Sunday. So let's start. When did your weekend start? Friday or Thursday?
I was probably drinking like Wednesday.
Really?
Yeah.
What was Wednesday?
I mean, that was more of just going out shooting content. Same thing with Thursday. And then Friday started, I was doing an event with Still Austin. They're doing a huge whiskey release. It's like their craziest whiskey they've ever created. It's called Tanager.
Okay.
And it's like a blend of their finest whiskeys, higher aged. And they're going to be releasing it in December. We got to try it. Like, it was just 10 other influencers, and they all gave us a bottle. But now it's not going to officially be released until December. Got to try it. It's insane. But they treated us to a whole weekend with them. We got to go to their distillery, do a tour. They brought us to the Rick House, which is in like South Austin. And that's where all the barrels are held. They sit there while the whiskey's aging. And then they even pulled like whiskey out of every barrel. So they had some that they were like, we're not going to release this for 5 years. We got to try it. So really cool stuff. And then a major highlight from the weekend was they brought us to the UT game.
Dude, that's crazy.
It was crazy. And then they announced that they were going to bring us onto the field.
Wow. Oh, the whole game or just
for like
of
a part of the game.
Oh, okay.
Which there was
that
like
your first time on the field?
Actually, my second time.
Oh, okay.
They brought me once before, but the whole group was like freaking out about it. I thought it was so cool to do it again.
So cool.
Kevin Durant was there, who was like a basketball player from UT.
Yes.
And I'm a huge fan. So that was wild. Oh, and before I jump ahead, I got like a really good tip for people who just like free stuff to do in Austin, like live music, or even as a UT fan. But I found out a lot of people don't know about this. Still Austin does a free concert for every home game at their stage. They're a sponsor. There's this whole like tent with a bar area where you can get drinks. And then like the week I went, they had Spoon playing, Other weeks I saw Big Boy from Outkast play there.
Wasn't Spoon this past weekend?
The one I went to.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, and so they bring in huge artists. Like
I
these are
know.
big people that cost a lot of money.
Dude, that was not there when I went to UT. I was so pissed. They get the best stuff.
I know, and people don't realize that it's actually completely free. So even if you're not going to the game, you can actually go have a couple drinks an hour or two before the game and see a free concert.
I know, like you can have so much fun during UT game day and not even number one care about UT football or have tickets to the game.
Yes.
There's so much to do around the stadium.
Yep.
That's dope. Were there any influencers on your whiskey trip that we would know, that I know?
I'm trying to think. It's funny. There was a lot of people from outside of Austin. Like there was a Dallas realtor that came, but he has a big Instagram. I met this really cool guy, Lucas. I forgot his Instagram handle, but he's from California and he has a really good cocktail page. So he'll show you how to like make cocktails at home. And then he actually came here and he did a pop-up at the Travelers Lounge that I was telling you about. That's the 2-story bus. Once again, recommend that bar, Travelers Lounge. You have to go. But he did a pop-up where, he was just making the cocktails for the night, made a special menu, and we went there. And that was Sunday night. And they closed at like 9:30. And we stayed with like the owners, Lucas, who is that influencer that came in town. Kelsey was there, Jeremiah was there, and we ended up doing karaoke for like an hour and a half.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a good time.
It was so much fun.
I think there was someone on your trip that I have mentioned on a previous episode that I told people to follow. The ATX plug.
I don't think that's her.
I think it is.
Because I followed the girl. I think
I thought she was posting like on her story like that she was
I
there.
met everybody. It was somebody else, I think.
Oh, I could have swore it was her. I'm going to look it up after this.
Yeah.
Don't make
Because
me
I
look
met
like
another
an
girl
idiot.
from Dallas that maybe looks similar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Damn it.
It was really cool. Like everybody was so friendly. Sometimes I don't like going to influencer things because one, they can't hold a conversation. I mean, this is not everybody. This is like half the influencers
I know,
I
I'm
meet.
like, not everybody.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. So like this group was so great because it's like they first introduced themselves. We got to talk. We ended up becoming friends. We all shared our pages with each other, spent the night drinking, laughed, sang songs. So it was like a special weekend. But there's a lot of other times where I've had influencers be like, "You're that guy," and then they pull out their phone and they just start recording before they even like have a conversation with me.
An Austin influencer?
Oh, several times.
That's so
many.
weird.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah, so that's why I don't go. Like we've talked about this before, but we don't go to a lot of the events. But yeah, so the group was amazing, like really fun.
That looked really cool.
So we did dinners. We went to Roosevelt Room. One night, there's this famous Instagrammer. His name's Arnie, and if you actually look him up on YouTube, like look up tacos Arnie Austin. He went around and like reviewed it and did every taco food truck in Austin, and he's like a true like authentic Mexican, like where he knows his stuff. He's a cook. He's so impressive with the way he talks about it and describes it.
What were his favorites?
I know he was at what's the one?
Quantos?
The yellow Quantos. He did that in the video. I don't know. I remember watching this like a year ago, but he just did the Still Austin dinner and he cooked for everybody. So I knew him from like a year ago. Seeing his video, I was like, oh yeah, I know that guy because I remember like watching it.
I think I know who you're talking about.
I can pull up his name just to like say it for sure so people know to follow him because I do highly recommend following him. YouTube, he has like I think almost 1 million followers.
Oh, wow.
And then on Instagram, Arnie Tex. He has 625,000 followers.
Damn.
He's a cook, but then he'll also like go around the country trying stuff. So it says my barbecue, carne asada rubs.
Can I see?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wait. I think maybe his videos have come up for me.
Probably. And he works with Still Austin a lot.
That's so cool. You got to meet him.
Yeah, he did like, a little talk before the dinner explaining like how he created all the food. They said it took like 48 hours to put everything together.
Wow.
Yes, it was a fantastic meal. And that was also a big highlight.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Your weekend looked so much fun. My weekend was the most stressed I've ever been this entire year. Literally, I told all my friends, I'm like, don't text me this weekend. So for people who don't know, I got selected to be the influencer girly to promote college game day.
So cool.
Did you know the show before?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I didn't because I realized it comes on at 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Every Saturday, and I'm sleeping. So college game day is for anyone who likes college football. They select the city where to go whenever there's a big game that's happening that has a lot of, commotion and tension around. So they don't select it until 10 days before they go.
Oh, okay.
And they reached out to me in like August and they were like, hey, so we know Texas is doing well this year and they're playing Georgia in October and we might come. We don't know yet. We're going to see how Texas does. We're going to see how Georgia does. But we might come. And if we do, we'd love for you to like work with us and promote college game day. And I was like, okay.
I'm so jealous.
And then I did my research and I was like, oh, this is like a big deal.
Did they also ask because you went to UT?
I think so.
Okay.
I think they noticed probably that I wear my UT hat all the time. And that gave me maybe the like, oh, this girl like loves UT. And then I was like, I went there too. And they were like, oh, even better. Because, yeah, I guess it's not very obvious that I.
No, I was thinking that's probably why they asked you.
I hope so. I mean, I would hope that they get an alumni to, promote UT.
For sure.
But it was crazy. Like, so obviously I went Friday to shoot and then.
Which tell them how early you had to get up.
So it was Saturday. I woke up at 4 a.m. and I had to be at the UT campus in front of the tower at 6 a.m.
That's crazy.
And
the game wasn't until 6:30 that day.
I know, p.m. But the show is from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. So they're like, oh, yeah, we need you here at 6 a.m. to show the crowd, get your bearings, and get some content. And I get there, it's pitch black. And I literally thought no one was going to show up that early. But I underestimated people's desire to be on television. So there were so many UT kids who slept there or didn't sleep overnight, like in that.
That's insane.
Salon. I know. Like, I talked to the first people who were there, and they said they started lining up to get in the pit where they show all the signs at 2 p.m. the previous day.
What?
Yeah, just to be on TV.
I was thinking, like, what do they do if they have to go to the bathroom? Or, like,
Oh
they
my
work
God,
their way
you're
back
right.
over?
That's probably what they did. Like, I think you're right. It was kind of like a ACL fest.
Yeah.
Like, how do you just gotta, hey, I was here.
Yep.
Early.
I'm going back to my spot.
Yeah. Thankfully, it was like a couple, so they had each other's back, I guess. But it was obviously mostly men or, 21-year-olds in the crowd at the very front, and they were hyped as hell. And I was like, damn, it was 6 a.m. and you all have all this energy.
Yes.
That's crazy. But it was really cool. I got to meet like the host, the legendary like Lee Corso, which was a big deal to my friends who love
cool.
football. The dog was there.
Cool.
And
Any surprises?
yeah, the legendary Vince Young.
Oh, yeah.
He was there.
It's funny. I was like on the field and I was like, that looks like Vince Young.
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell because he was like walking away.
He's so tall.
Yeah. I think he's like 6'7" or something. It's crazy.
Yeah. Kill Tony.
Okay, yeah. I've seen him at bars before.
He lives here.
Yeah, Tony Hinchcliffe. So yeah, he runs the Kill Tony show, and yeah, I've been at Bolden Acres, I've been at Latchkey, and he'll just be like smoking a cigarette in the corner.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Did he just become famous from his podcast?
I mean, I would say he was like a comedian first, but
Okay.
then the podcast Kill Tony like blew him up.
Okay.
And are you familiar with Kill Tony?
I just found out about him through the roast of Tom Brady.
Oh, okay.
He was hilarious.
He's really good.
Yeah.
So Kill Tony it's super impressive that they figured that out. But what it is all these people can put their name in this like fishbowl across the street at one of the bars on 6th Street. And then they'll pick like 5 to 10 people. Sorry if I'm wrong on that amount of people. But yeah, they'll pick like 5 to 10 people. And then it's like this staged event where they'll have him, another person, and then like 2 guest judges that will come up. And then a person comes up to get like 1 minute. And then they just have to do stand-up. And half the time they suck. And the other half the time they're really good. And it could help them blow up and become big comedians. Like there's people who have started on there and now tour the country as comedians. And there's other people that get so embarrassed and they never try comedy again.
Oh.
Because they will go hard at them. They would be like, are you an idiot? Like, why would you even come and attempt this?
Where do they do this?
It was, I think, at the Vulcan.
Oh, okay.
And I think it might be at the Comedy Mothership now.
So you can't just buy tickets?
You can. It's like they'll post it and then it's gone within 10 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That would be so fun.
I know. So it's like wild to see people take that chance to go up on stage and be like, oh, God, you think you get nervous for them?
Yeah, I would shit my pants. Yeah, so he was there interviewing some of the kids. Random people from The Bachelor were there.
Okay.
The girl I was with, I'm not super into The Bachelor Nation, but the girl I was with noticed them and she was like, oh my God, I'm freaking out. And she's like, come talk to them with me. And so we went to go talk to these guys. I forget their names. And they were chill, but I didn't know who they were. So I was just talking to them normal. And meanwhile, my friend is like having a panic attack.
That's actually funny. Last night that happened to me. I was at the whiskey dinner and somebody came up to like, are you the ATX drinker? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, nice to meet you. And he was like, I actually follow you on Threads. And I'm like, not Instagram? He's like, no, I just follow you on Threads. I'm like, okay.
Oh.
And but my friend was like, he walked away. She's like, do you know who that was? They're like, he's from The Circle on Netflix. Have you ever seen
Ooh.
that show?
Actually, I haven't.
I think his name was Nick.
Oh,
Super
I know
friendly
who,
person.
I know who he is because he was on The Perfect Match.
Oh, okay. I think they said like multiple shows.
Yes. Yeah, I know he lives here. I've met him before.
Yeah, my friend was like freaking out.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's so funny.
Yeah, and I had no idea. I was just like, well, nice to meet you.
Yeah, you gotta watch The Perfect Match. It's
Okay.
so funny. My friend actually went on a date with him.
No way.
She said it was not good.
Oh no.
That's the tea. Just
Well, that doesn't mean anything against them. It could have just been
I
a
know,
bad date.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Literally, I don't know this person. Yeah, there are like a couple like Netflix
There really
celebrities
are.
that live here. One of my favorites is did you ever watch 20 somethings?
Yes, twice.
Twice?
Well, because actually my little brother was in town, and I was like, all right, let's watch this because they hop around the city, and he kind of likes reality shows sometimes.
Oh.
So we just put it on again, and then he was like, I want to finish it now that we started it.
I know. No, literally, when I first started it, I was like, this is kind of boring. And then I was like, I can't stop watching it.
I mean, I recommend that. So if you're like new to Austin, 20 somethings is on Netflix, and it's obviously not like the greatest TV ever, but it's still a fun watch if you're in Austin because they go to like a lot of the bars. They went to like the supermarket. I'm like, I go to that supermarket sometimes,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
silly stuff like that.
Only, I think, 2 of them stayed.
I think so.
Well, the comedian guy, he
Oh,
was here for a bit. But
I
I think
bumped into him like 3 times.
Oh, so he's one of them.
Yeah, he's still here.
Okay, then I think 3 of them live
Okay.
here.
But yeah, he's the one you said you liked.
I will Kiki.
Kiki, okay.
I love him so much. He's such a cutie.
I want
and
to
a
meet
sweetie.
you, Kiki. Come say hi to me.
Come on, Kiki. Let's have a little Kiki. Yeah, he's sweet. Since we're on the subject, I recommend The Ultimatum, which was shot in Austin.
Okay.
That one,
I never watched it, but Kelsey did, I think. Yeah.
the drama is crazy. And they're going to all the Austin spots.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like
Oh,
they're
I
on,
didn't know that.
Like they're on West 6. They went to Kitty Cohen's.
Oh, I'm watching it then.
Oh, it's you have
Because I love
to.
that. Like when I see the places.
Yeah, me too. I am waiting until they do like a Love is Blind.
And it's every season?
No, The Ultimatum, it's their first season and it was
Okay.
shot in Austin.
Oh.
It's awesome.
Okay.
And I knew one of the okay, I
Uh-oh.
didn't know her, but like we were acquaintances like years ago and she was very rude to me.
Say the name.
I literally know. I won't, but I bet people that have seen the show,
Would know?
they'll know.
Okay.
Like it's pretty obvious who the rude one is. That's the tea. But I really want them to do a Love is Blind episode here in Austin.
That would be cool.
They did one in Dallas, and apparently, like, they go out and are seen all the time.
Really?
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
I love that stuff.
Me too. I think it would do so well here.
Yeah.
It's got to be on the horizon.
Yeah. I actually rewatched the Real World episode, or not episode, season of when they were in Austin, which I think it was like 2008 or something like
Wow.
that.
The whole season?
Yeah,
Damn.
and it's so wild just because the city was so different then. I think it's like where Vince Young's Steakhouse was where they stayed. It was
Like it
like
was
an apartment building.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And then
That's
like in one episode they go out on 6th Street and the dude gets into like a bar fight and then he goes to the doctors because like his like eye socket was broken or the thing around it.
I remember that
Yeah.
specific moment while watching it back then. And I'm like, I'm moving there next year.
It's funny. I had a lot of people comment on it and were like, that shows the reason I moved to Austin.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
Imagine seeing a bar fight and being like, I'm gonna move there. Did it show like what bar he got in a fight at?
I think it was one that closed, or it's the one that has the mechanical bull you can ride on 6th Street. I think there's 2 bars on 6th Street.
Maybe is it Jackalope?
No. Jackalope has that Jackalope like you can sit on.
Oh, right.
But it's like you go in, and I think they have all the crazy drinks on the...
Oh, yeah. I do recall a
Like blanking.
mechanical bull on Dirty.
Yeah, it's
I'm
not...
sure
I don't think it's
still
like Buckshots or something, but it's one of those bars.
Well, Buckshots isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
Gabriella bought that property.
Yeah, so I think it's one that's like 2 places down from there or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How did we get on that subject?
We were talking about reality TV.
Oh, you're right.
And then...
I like just went off on a tangent.
seeing celebrities at your ESPN event.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. We're going all the way back, I guess. Yeah, it was just a crazy morning, but so much fun. Everyone was really kind. I can't believe I met, like, my boyfriend said this. He's like, I can't believe you met the coach of Alabama. And he did like the hookup side. And I was like, yeah, that's crazy. I've seen him on TV for so many years.
That's cool.
And then literally right after college game day, and I filmed for 5 hours, I had to go to F1 on Saturday too to film something else. And it was so hot. And I was just really admiring how so many people came in from all over the world to go to this.
I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed going out because there was so many people out. Because like for me, you know, we were talking about the city's small and you bump into people and you don't want to bump into certain people and all this stuff. I felt like I was on vacation in a different city.
Yeah.
Because everybody there was like, I'm not from here.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a little refreshing.
A lot of Europeans and Latinos I noticed at F1. So I hope they had a great weekend. Just for a little context, me and my boyfriend were curious because we saw so many people at F1 and we're like, I wonder if this is like equivalent to how many people can fit in DKR Stadium for the UT game. And I saw a statistic that the capacity at the UT football stadium is 100K. And this year last year, F1's attendance was 432,000 people.
Damn.
And they said it was more this year.
Wow.
So imagine like that many people
Yeah.
just roaming around the city. And I know Georgia fans came in to visit as well.
I saw a
just for this
lot.
game. Yeah, same.
I was like, move it, buddy. Like,
Dude, that game, I'm so depressed.
I know.
That was not supposed to happen.
And it wasn't even like competitive in a way. Like it seemed close if you just like look at the score.
Yeah,
But it felt not like they had us.
Yeah, they had us. We were humbled.
Yeah.
We were silenced.
And I heard a rumor too. Somebody was like, they're going to start Arch Manning because they said originally they always wanted to start the original quarterback the full year, and then Arch will start next year. But because Arch played a few games and he did really, really well, they're like, maybe we should just let him lead the way. But then they kept starting. Was it Ewers?
Yeah. Is it because he's a freshman?
That's part of it. But I think the other guy was there before him.
Oh, I see.
So they're kind of like, okay, well, let's let him do his final year, and then he's going to go to the NFL, and then Arch will probably play 1 or 2 years and then go to the NFL too.
Okay.
That's the only thing I don't like about college football is like you get connected to these players, and they're like, bye.
Dude. 2009, my first year at UT was the last year of Colt McCoy. And we had an amazing year in 2009. And then all that horribleness happened. And then Colt left, and we were just like, well. And then we hadn't been good ever since then.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, it's like I'm a jinx or something. Did you see that the SEC fined Texas $250,000 for the fans littering the field after that bad call?
Which is crazy because it's like I get that they got fined, but you have no control over the fans, and the fans aren't going to stop it.
I had never seen something like that, like of that caliber of a reaction from the fans. Yeah, and I saw like a random TikTok came up for me. It was a point of view from in the student section, and it was so much trash. Like,
oh my God.
So many people were throwing trash. It was crazy.
Also, you know, it gets really packed in the stadium too. Like just walking to our seats, we're like can barely get by people. And I don't know if it's just the layout or they make it smaller. But like if you go to a Spurs game or even if you go to like the Moody Center, it doesn't get that crammed. But it was crammed in there.
Really?
Yeah,
Oof.
I think they try to fit in as many people as possible.
Where were your seats?
Pretty good. We were like in that first section going when it goes up.
Nice.
I don't know if they call it the 100 section or what.
I mean, it was definitely sold out. Like, even I asked ESPN if they could get me tickets. They couldn't.
No way.
They couldn't even get me one ticket. I was like,
Wow.
but I went to school here.
I thought that would be like a requirement for the deal.
Oh, I know, right? I'd
Yeah.
be like, at that end. No, I'm kidding. Do you think what did you think about all that trash being thrown? Like when you saw it, like what was your
When it
reaction?
comes to college football, I'm kind of like, these are moments we'll remember forever because I almost like it.
I know.
You know, because we're going to be like, they were fired up.
They were fired up.
You know?
I
and
heard
then-
that was the loudest the stadium has ever been.
Yeah,
Did you feel that?
for sure.
Wow.
It was insane in there. And like, so Jeremiah, he's never been to a college football game. And he came with us.
Oh my God.
And he like, I looked over, he was stunned and got chills. Like his hair was standing up on his arm. And especially when the Jets flew over us,
Dude.
it was so exciting.
So I was watching the game in my apartment and the Jets flew over and I literally thought I was about to be bombed.
That's crazy.
I was like, is this the end? Like, and then I was like, hopefully it's the planes that they sent them out for the game.
Yeah.
That I saw on TV. And I'm like, okay, we're good.
Insane.
It was so loud. Yeah, that game was crazy. I remember watching all the trash being flown and I was just like, that's crazy.
So crazy. And then can we talk about what happened after the game where I went? So they had a Jack Daniels pop up with Shabuzi.
Oh.
Yeah, and I got invited. I went last year, which was a blast because it's at the Sunset Strip, I think it is. And it's a very small room. It feels like 200 people, maybe less. And we saw Metro Boomin last year, which I'm a big fan of. I think that's when he did the Spider-Man movie, the cartoon one.
Yeah, yeah.
And he did the album for that, which was really cool. And to see him so up close was like crazy. And now he's doing like stadiums. And we walked by the door or the window, and Jeremiah's like, "Oh, I just saw Gordon Ramsay." And I'm like, "Yeah, right." And he's like, "Yeah, he's right there." We looked at, he's like just standing there. And so we go in, and then we were just on the RSVP list, and they go, "Oh, give them the black bands." So they give us the black bands. And we're like, "This is for the private area." And we go in, and of like the 200 people, there was only like 15, maybe 10 people in the private corner area. It looked like where you would have like bottle service or like a VIP area. And in the middle is Gordon Ramsay standing there. And I walk over, and at first I'm like hesitant. I show the security guard. I'm like, "Is he gonna?" And he's like, "They're right this way, sir." And he just like lets me through. I'm like, "What the heck?" And I walk in, and I just standing next to Gordon Ramsay. Like we're just hanging out.
What?
It was insane.
Wow.
And I'm a big fan from his shows. The shows are so
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
Kitchen
they are.
Nightmares. And I was trying to be cool. Like at first, I was just like, "Let's watch." We watched Shabuzi, and Gordon's just like amazed by how crazy everybody's going.
Oh.
Yeah, and he seems like a really like every person that walked up to him was very sweet to them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
I messed up my interaction because I had to bring up that I'm a influencer social media person
What do you mean?
because I was trying to connect and I wanted to be like, yeah, I like review bars and cocktails in Austin, Texas, and I could just see in his face he just didn't care.
Oh.
He was just like, "Oh, that's great," and he just like starts looking around the room. So after he did that, I was just like, "Oh, I'm not gonna ruin this moment." I was like, "Thank you so much. Like, I'm a huge fan. Can we take a picture?" And he was like, "Oh, of course." And then he put his arm around me, was like super friendly. And I was like, "Is it cool if my buddy takes a picture?" Same thing. And then my buddy comes over, and then he started talking about cars. And then they started talking, and I was like, "You bastard! You got closer to Gordon than me."
Oh.
So yeah, I think it's like with celebrities when you bump into them, it's more to just talk about what they like, and then they'll want to talk about it.
I didn't know he liked cars.
Yeah, so he knew that somehow.
Okay.
And then yeah, they chatted a little bit, and he's like, "Have you had a good F1?" Because he's been hopping around a bunch.
Oh, right.
And yeah, but like such a nice person in person. I'm
Oh, wow.
sure
Yeah.
he was probably working with them to be there.
Oh, okay.
I'm guessing. I'm just assuming it was a Jack Daniels event.
Oh, right. He was also at the Patron thing on weekend too.
Yeah, I was like hanging out at the Patron thing, and somebody was like, "Oh yeah, Gordon Ramsay just walked out." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah. Dude, the past 2 weeks have just been celebrities galore in Austin. It's been crazy watching it. I can't even name them all at F1, but
I know. And I do want to say that a lot of people, even myself, were like, "Oh, Shabuzi's a one-hit wonder." And I saw him live. I changed my opinion on that because I just thought it was that one popular song, like a TikTok song.
oh, right.
Come to find out, he has a lot of great songs.
Oh, good.
Other people were like, "I love the album from beginning to finish." And the way he performed live was really fun.
I've heard amazing things
Yeah.
about him. I want to see him live so bad. Oh, that's so dope.
So fun. I know. I was like, what is happening? And then I got a Levi's jean jacket that they like gave to everybody that was there.
Again? Isn't that your third jacket?
Bro. So a week and a half before this, I just have to tell this because this is insane. I go, I need more jean clothing, whether that's a jacket or a button up, whatever. And then I go to the Patron event. First I go to a vintage store before the week starts, buy a button up jean shirt. Then I go to ACL Festival. They had like a stitched ACL branded jean jacket. Bought that. Okay, now I'm at 2. I'm like, that's great. And then I go to the Patron event. They gave me a black jean jacket.
But with their logo on it, I assume.
They had like a stitch on the back, that had something on there. And then I go to the Still Austin event, and they give me another button-up jean shirt. And then what was the final one? Was it the? I can't remember. There was one more.
At Jack Daniels?
Jack Daniels was. Yeah, did I say that one?
Yeah.
So there's 5 total
You're like, I'm good on denim.
in 7 days.
The universe heard you that you needed a denim shirt, and they were like, here you go, buddy.
Seriously.
Now shut up. That's iconic. Your weekend, I'm like, damn, that looks fun. And I'm like working all weekend. That's funny.
I know.
No, but I'm really blessed about the opportunities I was given. This weekend, it was crazy, and I can't believe they chose me, and I'm so grateful.
I know. I would do anything to do that, so that's really cool.
You never know.
Maybe.
I mean,
I'm
sure
every UT hats.
I'm sure. Yeah, there you go. I'm sure every season they're probably gonna pick someone new.
For sure.
Hopefully, we're good next year. Damn. So I guess that wraps up our crazy weekend.
I think so.
It was a wild time. This was the biggest weekend in Austin, and now I see why. I mean, I guess last year no big games landed on.
No, it was just
F1.
like F1.
Yeah, it just felt crazy this year. I guess we'll sign off with let's maybe our favorite rec of October. I had one that I wanted to mention because I just went to it last night. Endo Sushi. It's a new omakase place. They've actually been open a couple months. This guy is from Japan. He was trained in Japan, and he used to work in a restaurant in New York City and Washington, D.C., and now he's here in Austin. It's just north of the UT campus. There used to be a ramen spot there, but it's omakase sushi, and what makes this place special, I feel, is that they're doing this deal on weekdays where it's only $99 for a 16-course omakase.
Wow.
That's unheard of in Austin.
Yeah, that's really impressive.
Like, the closest deal to that is, I think it's Tar up in North Austin, which was 15 courses for $135 to $40.
Okay.
So $100 for 16 courses is crazy. I think they're doing this to try to get their name out there more. So there's no telling to how long this deal will last, but if you're listening to this now, I encourage you to take advantage of it because who knows how long it'll be here. And the fish was all from Japan. It was high quality shit. It was so good.
I got to do more of those.
It was amazing. And then in Austin fashion, we were all enjoying our last course dessert. The chef just goes behind us where there's a guitar and just starts playing us a little mini solo show. Playing guitar.
That's so fun.
And he's actually really good at it. And we were just like, okay. It was so cool. And I hope more people try them. I think this is the best omakase deal you're going to find that's worth the money in the city. And I just highly recommend them.
That's a great spot. That's a good one.
Yes. Anything
For me,
on your end?
I can say I went back to the Mezcal bar at Whistler's. It's feels like a speakeasy vibe, but it's not really a speakeasy because it's in the open. But there's these steps once you go into Whistler's on the patio that walk up, and it's this tiny little room, and it's a Mezcal bar. I don't even think you can get cocktails there. Every time I go there, you go up to the bartender, just tell him, this is what I do. I say, under $30, I'm looking for something that's a little sweet, but maybe a little earthy. I'm a little experienced in Mezcal, but whatever you recommend. And then he'll pull something, and we had the most interesting pour of Mezcal. I think this is a bar that it does get pretty packed on Fridays and Saturdays on the weekend, but it's not too busy the other days. It's open, I think, at 7. So it opens pretty late most days. But highly recommend that spot for people looking to try some different mezcals.
Do they still pour the mezcal shots in a clay little plate?
Yeah.
They do?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
And they give you a little orange with tahini.
Oh, nice.
So that helps cleanse your palate and
Nice.
to have with it. So really cool. It was packed in there. But we did go like Friday night. You know?
Fair.
So
Yeah.
I highly recommend that spot. And then another place that just doesn't get talked about because there's all these amazing speakeasies in Austin is the Malanga Room.
I think that's my favorite.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I love it there.
it's arguably a top 5 speakeasy in Austin, but almost nobody ever talks about it. And it's funny. People are like, don't tell people about speakeasies because they're going to get, you know. But then the owners are like, please help us. We need to, like, you know,
we're struggling here.
Yeah, like, we would love to be packed every night if we can.
Yeah, rent is going up. And if you're not packed every night, like, these businesses will struggle.
Yes. So that's one that is really good for, like, dating or if you just really like cocktails. Highly recommend the Malanga Room, East 7th Street, I believe it is.
Right behind the Buenos Aires
Yes.
restaurant. It's so good. And that you can have their empanadas in Malanga Room. And I always am, you know, hungry at the bar. So highly recommend that as well. Wait, I had a funny story about the Mezcal
Oh, God.
bar. A guy took me there on a date. Like, well, I guess we went to Whistler's for a date, which very typical. And then he was like, do you want to go to the Mezcal bar upstairs? And he probably thought that I didn't know about it. And so I was just like, yeah, let's go. And we went and he orders one. And literally, I just wanted to, like, I'm not a shot girl. So I really just wanted to taste it. I didn't want a full one. So I literally just took a tiny sip. He drank the whole thing. And then he was like, so am I getting this? And I was just like, I just stared at him. I was like, yeah. Like,
and even because he invited you up, he's like, let's go.
Yeah. Literally, I took a sip, but he thought, like, he was one of those, let's split the bill type guys. And I'm like, oh my God.
I don't get it. Like, I'm just not asking a girl on a date if I'm not taking care of it. I get it if you've been dating for a while and you're like, hey, let's go, you know, do something. But first date or two, what are you doing?
I can't remember what date it was. I think because he had gotten our drinks at Whistler's below that he thought I would get the shot upstairs. But I literally just took a tiny sip of it and I didn't want the rest.
Yeah.
And he, like, guzzled it down and it was just so weird.
That's funny. I mean, I still pay for Kelsey every time we go outside.
Really?
Pretty much.
You're a gentleman. Love that. I think that wraps it up. We've been yapping a long time. But yeah, thank y'all so much for listening to this episode of the Austin Pod. It was a crazy weekend. We hope you all survived it. You can find the Austin Pod at TikTok at the Austin Pod or Instagram. And you can find Anthony at the ATX Drinker. I am at 512 Bites. If you need any drink or food recs, we are your go-to people. And thank y'all again so much for listening.
Yes. Thank you so much. I also wanted to say, if you can, drop a comment about what you would like us to talk about in a future episode. Because we're always open to ideas. We've been talking to people out, like, in public, and they've been giving us some good recs. So if there's anything you want to hear in the YouTube, and even Spotify lets you do comments in case you didn't know that. So definitely let us know what you want to hear in future episodes.
Hell yeah. I support that. All right. Well, thanks, y'all. We'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers.
Bye.